Hi, welcome to KwikTactiX. In this tutorial, we are going to create a simple session planner project. And when you're finished, you will know more about work folders, project files, exporting images, creating slides and adding layers. Okay, let's go through some basics. The session planner uses a multi-layered and multi-slide system. So when you save your designs, it has to save your layers, backgrounds and slide information as well. And when you open your saved files, the session planner has to know which slide in your design the layers belong to, where on the canvas they need to go, and what backgrounds each slide should use. So it uses project files to achieve this. Project files store data in a way that only the session planner can understand. So they are useless when opened in another application. If you are using KwikTactiX Personal Edition, then during your environment build, we create 4 main work folders on your cloud for you. These are project, image, session and video work folders. And in the session planner, you only use your project and image folders. The project work folder is where you save all your project files. And the image work folder is where you export your session planner images to. You can also create as many subfolders as you like within your work folders. Now you have a basic understanding of what your main work folders are and why the session planner uses project files. Let's go ahead and create a project. Open your session planner if it's not already open. Now let's create a new project by clicking File on the top menu and selecting New Project. Keep the name as Untitled and click Create. The session planner now creates an empty project workspace called Untitled. Notice, the slide number on the top right-hand corner shows that we are on slide 1. Let's go ahead and add a background image to this slide. Click Tools on the top menu and select Canvas Manager, which opens the Canvas Manager window. On the left pane, you will see all the image work folders you have access to. Depending on what version of KwikTactiX you are using and what setup you have in place, will determine what work folders you see here. If you are on an Academy platform, then you will see your Academy Home Image work folder, and the Academy Shared Image work folder. And if you have any coach links set up, you will see their image work folders here as well. As we are using the Personal Edition, we can see our QuickDrive image work folder and Canvas Pack folders. You can double-click the folders to expand them, or click the arrow at the side of the folder to expand it. And when you click on a folder, it will highlight and show its contents in the right-hand pane here. Let's go ahead and add a background image to slide 1. Navigate the Football Canvas Pack folder, expand the fields and blank folders. Then click on the Style 2 folder to show its contents. If you are on the US platform, the Canvas Pack will be called Soccer Canvas Pack. And if you are on the Academy platform, the Soccer or Football Canvas Pack will be inside your Shared Academy image folder. Whichever version you are using, you should be able to see the image file called 3D Field P in the right pane. The naming convention we use for the background images we create start with either 2D or 3D to indicate what dimension the image is. Okay, go ahead and double-click the image file. Or you can click it once and click Load Canvas. The Canvas Manager should now close, and the new background image should have been applied to slide 1. Now let's drop a few markers onto the canvas and create some lines. You have 3 slightly different ways to drop markers onto the canvas. They all have the same desired result, but are slightly different in operation. The first way is to simply click a marker to highlight it, then click anywhere on the canvas where you want the marker to go. The marker will be placed, and the tool will automatically change to the selector tool, so you can immediately click the placed marker to show its available functions and modify if needed. Another way to add a marker to the canvas, and probably the fastest way, is to simply drag the marker from the marker menu and drop it directly onto the canvas, which achieves exactly the same result, without the hassle of having to select the marker on the menu. If you wanted to place a marker into multiple places on the canvas, without having to go through the same process over and over, you can select the marker on the menu, and while keeping your keyboard Shift key pressed, click the canvas where you want the markers to go. There is no limit to the amount you can place. Just press Shift to finish placing the markers. Now let's go ahead and add 4 orange cones to the playing field, the way I just showed you. First, locate the orange cone on Marker Menu 1 by sliding the locator button horizontally. Now click the orange cone marker to highlight it. Then press and hold the Shift key on your keyboard. And move the mouse cursor into position A, and click once to place the orange cone. Remember to keep your Shift key pressed in. Now move the mouse cursor to position B, and click then move to position C and click, and finally move to position D, and click. You can now take your finger off the Shift key. You should see 4 cones on the canvas, similar to mine. Let's align them horizontally and vertically, so they are in a 3D square. When you move your mouse over a layer on the canvas, you should notice the cursor change to a hand cursor. This indicates that you are hovering your mouse over a layer that can be selected. Now move your cursor to cone 1 and click to highlight it. When it's highlighted, press and hold the Shift key on your keyboard, and move your mouse cursor to cone 2, and click to highlight. You should see cone 1 and 2 flashing, like it does on my screen. Okay, while the 2 markers are flashing, click Layers on the top menu, select Align and click Vertical. You should see the 2 cone markers align vertically on the canvas. Let's now align the other 2 cones horizontally, using the same process, but this time we'll use a quicker way to select them both. Make sure the selector tool is set. Now move your mouse cursor above the left cone, then press and hold your mouse button in. Then drag the mouse across to the right cone, so both cones are entirely covered by the box. Now let go of the mouse button. Both cones should now be flashing, indicating that they are selected. Again, click Layers on the top menu, and select Align. But this time click Horizontal. You should now see the 2 cones are also aligned. Let's now copy this setup to a new slide. Take a second to have a look at the slide controls that are located at the bottom of the session planner. From left to right you have Previous Slide, which changes the current slide to the previous one you was on. First Slide changes the current slide to the first slide available. Delete Slide deletes the current slide and changes to the next slide. Insert Slide inserts a new blank slide after the one you are on. Clone Slide creates a copy of the current slide to a new slide, then switches to that slide. Last Slide changes the current slide to the last one available. Next Slide changes the current slide to the next one. If you want to learn more about slides, then be sure to have a look at the slide tutorial, which is entirely based on slides. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we only need to use Clone Slide, Next and Previous. So let's go ahead and clone this slide by hitting the Clone Side button. Okay, the only thing you should have noticed is the slide number changed to Slide 2. Now we are operating on Slide 2, let's add a new marker and a line. Locate the Player 1B Readiness marker on the Team 3 marker menu, which you can do so by sliding the Locate slider horizontally until you find the marker. You can simply hover over any marker to check its name. Once you've found it, drag it into position near cone 1. Now let's add a gradient line with an arrow onto the canvas. Select the Dash Line tool on the tool menu. Then locate the line functions at the bottom of the session planner, and turn on the end arrow and gradient to line functions by clicking them. Now move your cursor so it's close to the player marker foot on the canvas. Click and hold the mouse button in and drag the line towards cone 2. Release the mouse button when you are halfway to the cone. If your line does not look like the one I created, hit the selector tool button. Then click the line on the canvas you created. When the ends are highlighted by 2 yellow handles, click the pen thickness slider to make the line thicker. And then click the yellow color function button to make the line yellow. You can also move the line using either of the handles to where you want them. Okay, let's copy this slide to a new slide. Hit the Clone Slide button at the bottom of the session planner. And check you are on Slide 3. Now let's move the marker item and line item on the canvas so they are pointing to cone 3 from cone 2. Hit the selector tool and click the player marker item. When it's highlighted, drag it to cone 2. Now rotate the player so they are looking at cone 3 by using the rotate left function on the marker. Click it a couple of times to get it into position. Now click the line we created and drag it to cone 2. Then use the end handle to make the line point to cone 3. Okay, let's repeat the procedure again and make the player marker look like it's pointing to cone 4 from cone 3. This time I'm going to just do it and let you follow what I'm doing. Go ahead and clone this slide. Then check we are on Slide 4 and move the player marker and line items. Once you've finished, we need to repeat the procedure one last time. However, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just do it, and hopefully you now know the procedure. Go ahead and create a new slide, then make the player look at cone 1. Great! Well done, you have created your first multi-slide session with the planner. And you've used several tools and functions to achieve the result we wanted. Let's now see it in action. Click the first slide button at the bottom of the planner to switch to slide 1. Now click next slide to go through the slides, and watch your player move from cone to cone. When the player is at cone 4, there are no more slides. Click the previous slide button to go backwards through the slides. That's it. Obviously the sample is basic, but imagine what you can achieve using all the markers, tools and functions available. It's time to save the project so we can load it another day. Click the File menu, and select Save Project As. This will load up the file manager in save mode, and show your project work folders. Here you can create subfolders and carry out standard file maintenance tasks. Type the name you want to call this project in the project name text box. And click Save to save the project. That's it, your project has been saved to your project folder. Let's make sure it's saved how we expected. Click the File menu item, and select New to create a new project workspace. Accept the default name. When the blank workspace has been created, open the project we just saved. Select File from the top menu, and click Open Project. Locate the folder where you originally saved the project. Once you have located it, either double-click the project file, or click the project file and then click Open. When it's open, cycle through the slides to make sure it's doing what it should be. Also notice that the project file name is shown on the bottom right-hand side of your canvas. Now we have one last task. Let's export a slide as an image into our image library. Click File and select Export View. You will now see the exporter function, rendering the image. Once it's rendered, you can right-click the image, and save it to your device or computer. Or you can click the Save to Library button to save the image to your image library. When the Save Image to Library window appears, navigate to where you want to save the image. Type the image name into the Save Images text box. Then hit Save. Your slide image should now be viewable using your Image Manager app as a standard image, which you can use in your session plans. We hope you enjoyed the tutorial.